Hello, I'm Mariam Jai and you're watching Buckingham News. Our top stories. It's 1 year since Buckingham's refurbished library was reopened, and what better way to celebrate than a birthday party? Comedy panel show regular Tom Allen brings his brand of sharp wit and camp riotous storytelling to Buckingham. And the Buckingham Baron thump the Daventry Vikings in their latest Northamptonshire Basketball League fixtures. Buckingham Library celebrated 1 year of the new refurbished library on Saturday, the 4th of February. The event aimed to bring people together to celebrate what community services this library has to offer. Nani Kuzwaya has more.
The birthday event saw the refurbished library celebrating the successful year they've had and community services they now have on offer. Coffee and cake were a welcoming sight for the people of Buckingham, whilst they were able to enjoy the atmosphere and turnout of others in the community. Buckingham Library have celebrated 1 year of their new refurbishment, and the event was aimed at bringing people of the community together to see what services this library can offer.
The refurbishment has been brilliant. It's been able to make more space for people to use all the facilities of the library, and now includes a nice seating area so you can read the newspapers and magazines. It also is a great place to learn about all the facilities of Buckingham, so dementia friends and knit and natter and lots of children's groups, so it's a real community hub.
The event proved to be very successful. The introduction of community services and expansion of their range of children's activities have proven to offer great services to Buckingham, bringing in more custom to the library than ever before.
We wanted to give our customers a brighter, fresher space and more places for them to go. So even though the refurb didn't actually make the building bigger, it changed the use of the spaces, so it just gave us more.
Buckingham Library had a great celebration of its 1 year refurbishment today. And if the people didn't know what they have to offer, for example, birth registration, job hunting, and even dementia help, they are now encouraged to make use of the community services that are offered here. This is Nandi Kuzwaya for Buckingham News.
The film place in Buckingham celebrated its 1,000th screening. We sent Sophia Bunker to check it out.
Since its opening in 2005, the film place has used the University of Buckingham's facilities to hold weekly screenings and has shown over 700 films to 28,000 people. The organisation is an independent, non-for-profit charitable company run by volunteers.
Last Saturday evening, the film Bridget Jones's Diary took the 1,000th screening slot, the third movie of a much-loved and cherished series.
We wanted to find out what was the biggest gap in Buckingham as far as the arts were concerned. And cinema was the answer that came out of a survey we did.
The film place maintains its audience loyalty by showing a variety of films, such as independent, foreign, family, and mainstream movies. Special events are also regularly held, such as Q&A sessions with producers and directors.
And this is all made possible with support from the local community and Buckingham Town Council. The organisation looks forward to having its next millennial celebration. This is Sophia Bunker for Buckingham News.
Tom Allen, a regular on TV panel shows and the UK stand-up circuit, was welcomed to Buckingham for a special performance last week. Known for his uproarious storytelling and camp wit, his show was a laugh a minute. Arina Klimchuk was there.
Comedian, writer and actor Tom Allen can usually be seen on television, but Buckingham was the place to be this weekend. He has recently appeared on Channel 4's 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown, Comedy Central's The Comedy Store Presents and The John Bishop Show, as well as Channel 4's Comedy Gala at the O2 during the last few months. Tom's Allen 2-hour-long show not only featured the comic's own jokes, but he also spent some time playing on the middle-class nature of Buckingham Town. He asked some members of the audience what they did for their living, and when they replied things like working in the university or pilot, the comic felt his point was proven.
I've never been here before. There's no train station, which is fine, but it is... yeah, and I hear it's a nice show, and there are nice people, other comedians doing it, and nice people. So, yeah, it made sense to come and it seemed like a nice thing to do. So that's why, really. But I would like it if you could build a train station. I have a joke that is that I always enjoy doing, which is when I was in the Scouts as a teenager, everybody went to camp, but I never went to camp. If anything, camp came to me.
Laughter could be heard all the way outside the old town hall when Tom Allen hit the punchlines in his monologue. The good mood continued throughout his show, which ended with a thunderous applause. The show has a massive success for 150 attendees, and maybe Tom Selleck's performance is one of many to come to Buckingham. This is Arina Klimchuk reporting for Buckingham News.
In a continuation of business enterprise talks, entrepreneur Jeff White talked to University of Buckingham students about the theory and practice behind running a successful small business. From a family business to growing his own company, Mr. Wyatt was able to give his audience a real insight into the mindset behind a successful entrepreneur. Amarachi Duro went along to find out more.
Jeff Wyatt, the owner of Technikey, spoke last week about his business history, from being in a family business to then trading, owning and managing his own company. Mr. Wyatt shared his own experiences of being a small-scale businessman, explaining the difficulties that he faced, especially with working with family, and later going on to explaining that mixing blood and money is never a good idea. Mr. Wyatt shared some of his many experiences in field, such as retail and trading.
During the talk, Mr. White explains the privileges of running your own business, saying that there's always a job for you when you need one. He further goes on to talk about the real-world business struggles that he went through and how he survived them.
It's all about the idea. There's no point going into business for the sake of it. You need to investigate the marketplace. You need to do your market research. It's better as a small businessman to go into a marketplace that is already in existence, that you know that there is a market to go to, because a small man or a small woman doesn't need to do too much to take some of that market that already exists.
During his talk, Mr. Wyatt expanded the huge success of Technikey. He explains that a big part of his success is mainly due to the fact that he comes from a long line of businessmen and women. Going on further to explain that his brother and daughter had studied business at the university.
Detailing the differences between family businesses, standing on your own 2 feet, and running your own business, Mr. Wyatt's talk certainly had a personal tone, which is hoped to encourage the next generation of budding entrepreneurs he spoke to. This is Amarachi Daru with Buckingham News.
The University of Buckingham's latest project will see the building of the Vincent Center for the Study of Liberal Economics on the Hunter Street campus, with Vice-Chancellor Sir Anthony Seldon last week announcing a local government funding grant. The future for Buckingham's latest student building looks bright. Kezia Fentiman reports.
When he started in September 2015, Vice-Chancellor Anthony Seldon expressed his interest in a Liberal Economics Centre for the University of Buckingham. Last week, he announced on Twitter that the university has received funding for the centre from Buckingham Thames Valley Local Enterprise Partnership. The University of Buckingham was founded on the principles of free thinking, and the new building is set to provide a dedicated centre for research and study, which continues the ethos of liberal thinking. The plan is to build it on the main Hunter Street campus in the place of Santander, which will be relocated. As well as for research collaborations between the university and the IEA, a previous donor, the centre will be used by economics students, research fellows, and for conferences and internships. Vice-Chancellor Anthony Seldon said, "The building and the programmes that take place within it will be at the heart of the University of Buckingham for years to come."
Well, I think the centre will give us huge opportunities going forward that otherwise we wouldn't be able to take advantage of. We can develop research programs, we can develop lecture series, we can give grants to students, internships, all these sorts of things which will, I think, hugely strengthen the social sciences at Buckingham generally, and economics in particular, of course. Well, the Vice-Chancellor will be hugely anxious to get it going as soon as possible, but within 2 years.
The University of Buckingham is certainly raising its profile in innovative ways, and developments like these could be key in making us stand out from other universities. This is Kezia Fentiman for Buckingham News.
And now over to sports with Matthew Powell.
Thank you, Mariam. The Buckingham Barons, the University of Buckingham's basketball club, faced the Daventry Vikings in their latest Northampton Basketball League fixture. QG was there.
Currently sitting atop the Division II table in the NBL, the Barons were looking to extend their lead ahead from second-placed Berkeley Warriors, who beat the Barons last week. The Barons began the game dominantly, racing into a first-quarter lead. The university's table-topping side were making players all over the court, with both their offense and defense outclassing their opponents. Despite the Vikings making efforts to assert themselves, Buckingham's stellar interior defense and rapid attack ensured they went into the break leading 37-15. The second half was just as dominant as an affair, with the Barons continuing to control the play. Buckingham's quality was clear to see as they eventually ran out 70-30 victors in something of an annihilation.
We played a good game. Everybody kind of played together. We ended up hitting about 70 points, which was a season high. We played really well together, and we were able to really tire the other team.
With such a strong performance in this crucial league fixture, the Barons have managed to extend their lead in their pursuit of the title in this league. This is Kershu, Buckingham News.
Although not one of the more universal sports, netball is growing in popularity, not just across the country, but at the University of Buckingham in particular. In our latest Spotlight on Sport feature, Tamilore Teo Oyetibo has been along to see how the university's society is growing.
In only its second term as a sports club on campus, the Netball Society is growing in numbers as it looks to give more girls not only the opportunity to play sports, but to join a squad looking to develop into a competitive side. Although the society has not yet developed a core group of players to take into a local league format, the more casual nature of the society at present allows the sport to maintain a recreational feel, creating an environment perfect for new members.
Establishing the netball again at the university is now creating a domino effect where more people are starting to join sports, while more females especially are joining all different sports.
The Buckingham Sports Union has been pushing for an increase in female sporting participation, with attempts to set up a women's football team, alongside the more commonly female sports of netball, giving girls more opportunity to partake in sports at university. The growing popularity of netball, with more than 150,000 people a week playing the sport across the country, will hopefully spread to Buckingham and allow the society to grow and develop further. This is Tamilore Teo for Buckingham News.
And now back to the studio.
To celebrate Chinese New Year, a gala night of music, dancing and live performance was put on by Buckingham's Chinese Society. The university's Radcliffe Centre was turned into a theatre of traditional sights and sounds as students of all nationalities celebrated together. Marisi Mushigo went along.
Chinese New Year, which in 2017 is the Year of Rooster, is to be celebrated from the 28th of January to the 11th of February. In celebration, Buckingham's Chinese Students and Scholars Association put on a gala festival of music, dance and colour at the Radcliffe Centre in Buckingham. Decked out with sounds and lights for the Chinese New Year, you could be forgiven that this is Little Beijing rather than Little Buckingham.
It's actually, we're using this Spring Festival Gala to celebrate Spring Festival with all the Chinese people around here and show people from different countries our culture.
Chinese New Year tradition involves festivals, family reunions and large dinners, with the streets filled with many decorations, mostly in red, which is believed to be an auspicious colour.
Well, a little bit nervous, but I think I performed better than what I expect, and it's so exciting today.
This celebration hasn't just encapsulated the spirit of the Chinese Year, it has brought residents together from all nationalities to celebrate in style. This is Maurice Mashigo for Buckingham News.
The food of the gods if you're struggling with cold or flu, but also just as good as any time of the year. With National Homemade Soup Day falling on February 4th, what better way to celebrate than with a traditional leek and potato soup? Neil Fotheringham has put together a delicious dish.
I dragged myself into the kitchen with £3 worth of healthy ingredients to make some traditional leek and potato soup and see what all the fuss was about. The first step to making this simple soup is to prepare your ingredients. We have used 100 grams of potatoes, 1 sliced leek, a diced onion and a pint of vegetable stock. Heat the oil in a large pan and add the onions, potatoes and leeks. Cook until starting to soften, roughly 5 minutes. Add the vegetable stock and bring to the boil. Taste and season accordingly. Leave on a low heat until the vegetables are tender. Blend the mixture until smooth, heat through and serve with a crusty white loaf. Cooking from scratch like this doesn't need to be a chore. I bought these ingredients here for less than £3, so there's no excuse why you guys at home should be living out the freezer. This is Neil Fotheringham for Buckingham News.
Thank you for watching Buckingham News. We'll see you next week.